most expensive lessons. Just because you like a product does not mean that everyone else is going to like that product. The name of the game with Amazon FBA is supplying a demand. Selling on Amazon is literally a science and an art. And so you don't want to get ahead of yourself and overspend in areas that are not critical to you launching that first product. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to give you my top 3 most expensive lessons that I have learned in my 6 years of selling on Amazon. And these are lessons that I had to learn the hard way because I had no idea what I was doing when I first started out on this journey. Little did I know that I was going to make millions of dollars selling on Amazon, but I had to make these mistakes first. So let me explain to you what I did wrong and how you can avoid it. If you're interested in learning more, keep on watching this video. Before we get started, a quick reminder to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I have tons of Amazon videos coming your way in the next few weeks, as well as liking this video if you learned something from it. If you have any questions, feel free to put them down in the comment section. And with that, let's get started. The very first thing I have on my list is a result of a couple of different things. 1, I'm a middle child. 2, I think I know everything. And 3, I honestly feel like I was just a little bit arrogant back then because I had no experience. And sometimes when you don't know how to do something, you feel like you're not going to mess up or make a mistake. And that was my fault. So the number 1 most expensive lesson that I have learned is that it is very, very important that you pick products that other people will want to buy. Just because you like a product does not mean that everyone else is going to like that product or want to purchase the product. And remember, the name of the game with Amazon FBA is supplying a demand. So if people are not looking for that product, you are not going to make sales because they're just simply not looking for it. On the flip side of that, if you sell something that you don't know a lot about, but there are a large number of people who are actively looking for that product every month, you are going to set yourself up to make a lot of money. And honestly, selling on Amazon is literally a science and an art. So when I say a science, I mean the data. Looking at numbers, looking at, metrics that will ensure that you're going to make money selling on Amazon. For example, there's something called keyword search volume. If you've watched any of my product research videos, you know exactly where I'm going with this. But keyword search volume is an indicator of demand because it shows you how many people are looking up this keyword every single month on Amazon. If there's a word and there are only 100 searches for that word over the course of an entire month, mind you, Amazon is a platform with millions and millions of people searching on it. That means that there's not a lot of demand for that product. Therefore, even if you love that product, even if you use that product, even if you adore the product, you're obsessed with the product, none of that matters because the product does not have enough demand to justify you selling that product. And for me, it was a combination of arrogance and ignorance because I didn't know that when I was starting out. I just really was leaning more towards products that I was interested in personally for one reason or another. So I've told this story before, but I really love the idea of beauty products because I love beauty. I love hair and nails and fashion. And I just really gravitated towards those types of products. And there were products that were in demand, but there were also ones that were very competitive. So I almost trapped myself and set myself up for failure by ignoring all the other products and solely focusing on the ones that were things that I liked. And I strongly, strongly encourage you as a beginner to keep an open mind and look at all different types of products in all different types of niches. Even if you're not really someone who's super into arts and crafts, look in arts and crafts. If you're not super into sports, who knows? Your winning product could be a sports product and you might build an entire brand around exercise and athletics. And really what you have to remember is what makes the most sense is what's going to make money. And this has everything to do with my approach to Amazon selling, which is that the most important thing is the bottom line. I am not considering what your passion is or what you love. The emotional side of things is going to get you caught up really quickly and is going to put you in a position to where you can lose money. And I don't want you to lose money. So what I encourage you to do is focus on the products that have good numbers. Again, if you want to know what good numbers are, look at my product research videos and those will point you in the right direction. And along with that, if you are someone who needs even more help and you really want to know how to sell on Amazon step-by-step with mentorship, I do offer a mentorship program. It's called the Savvy Seller FBA program. You can check it out right here, and that will really help you pick the exact product that is going to help you launch and make a lot of money on Amazon. So feel free to check out that link and let me know if you have any questions about that. But either way, getting back to the topic, we want to make sure that we are focused on products that have great numbers, great data to support us actually investing our time and our money into moving forward with that product. Number 2 on my list of most important lessons I have learned that have cost me a lot of money is getting inspections done. If you have joined my lives either on Instagram, TikTok, or here on YouTube, you have heard me talk about the importance of getting inspections done on your products. And this is something that I have personal experience with because I made the mistake of not getting an inspection done one time, and trust me, that was the only time I made that mistake. I have never done it again because it cost me so much money and caused me so much grief that I just told myself I'm never going to do this again. This was a mistake and I'm going to learn from it, and moving forward, I'm going to do the right thing and always get that inspection done. For those of you who don't know what a product inspection is, it's basically where your products are made in a factory or a warehouse in China or overseas. You might have your products made in another country like Vietnam or in India or somewhere like that, but all of my products personally are made in China. And if you use the website Alibaba.com to find suppliers, the majority of those suppliers on Alibaba are based in China. So anyway, if you're having your products made in a place that is super far from where you physically live, like I live in the United States, you might live in the UK, you might live in Canada, you might live in Africa, who knows, you might live on a different continent in a different country, and it's not realistic for you to fly to China to look at your products and make sure that they have been made well. So instead of doing that, there's a workaround where you will hire a third-party inspection company. And these inspection companies are incredible because what they can do is they can go and be your eyes and ears in the factories and make sure that your products are made to your specifications. So let's say you have a conversation with a supplier and you tell them, hey, I would love to work with you to have these water bottles made, but instead of using titanium, I would like mine made out of plastic. And you want to make sure that they use plastic. Maybe they tell you they're going to use plastic, but in the end, they use a completely different material. You're not going to know that unless you have someone go to look at the products for you. Because who knows, maybe once you get a sample sent to you, they'll send you the titanium one, and in reality, they're making it out of plastic because it's cheaper or whatever. So you never want to put your full trust in a supplier. You have to remember that they are a business partner, and either way, yes, you want to have a level of respect and trust with that business partner, but ultimately you don't know them. Okay, they're not your mom who's never going to do you wrong. They are people, and people can be flawed, and people can screw you over, and you just have to be realistic about that. So this is not to scare you guys, but it's to make sure that you are covering your own back and you are being responsible as far as, doing your own due diligence. So anyway, what you're going to do is hire this third-party inspection company, and what they're going to do is go to the place where your products have been made, and they're going to run a full inspection on your items. And normally what happens is if you have a bulk order of inventory, when I say bulk, I mean a couple hundred units. For example, my recommendation is that you start with 500 units. So if you have 500 units of products, what they will do is they will go and take a sample size of the products that are there in total. So instead of looking at all 500, they're going to randomly select, let's say 50 of the 500. Because that smaller sample size will be a reflection of how the bigger order is as far as quality. So if out of the 50, let's say half of them are made incorrectly, then you can assume that out of 500, 250 have been made incorrectly. So it just shows you an illustration of the quality of the bigger order without spending as much time looking at every single unit, because that would be very time consuming, and it would also be very expensive because they would have to spend all day there doing that. So with that being said, you hire this company, they go, they do the inspection, they send you a report, and they let you know what they have found. So they can tell you, hey, this was a great inspection. They passed on every, data point that you gave us. You can let them know, hey, can you make sure that all of them are green and not blue? Hey, can you make sure that they all weigh exactly 1 pound? Hey, can you make sure X, Y, and Z. So they're just literally going to be your eyes and your hands so they can feel and touch and evaluate and really, make sure that you are not getting the short end of the stick when it comes to your order. So once they do that, then you can feel confident moving forward that you have done everything you can to ensure that the products have been made well. If you skip over the inspection, what can happen is that you could have a supplier who wants to kind of cut corners and maybe give you some good products, some bad products, or just completely change what you have talked about. And I've actually heard this from real Amazon sellers where they have had this experience, and it's never a good feeling. Again, this is not to scare you. This is just the reality of doing business. Whether it's with Amazon, whether it's in some other business, you have to remember that you cannot give everyone the benefit of the doubt, and it's equally as important that you do your own part in making sure that the products have been made well. So that was a long-winded explanation, but I hope that helps you understand why the product inspections are so important. And yes, it's an investment. Yes, you're going to have to pay for them. I would budget anywhere between $100 to $200 for that inspection. But honestly, that can save you literally thousands of dollars in trying to have a solution to something that has gone wrong. If your supplier sends bad products and now you need to get a refund, or now you need to, do whatever, then you have that inspection to go back to and say, hey, we had a whole inspection and they, were supposed to provide this and they provided that. And, that's why I'm seeking a refund, or whatever the case is. All it can do is help you. And really, in a perfect world, what it will do is it will allow your supplier to correct any mistakes before they get sent to the Amazon fulfillment centers. Because remember, these products are traveling a long way. And so the easiest fix and the best time to make any corrections is when it is still with the people who made the product in the first place. And if you are looking for an excellent inspection company, I have one that I can recommend to you guys. I actually will go ahead and put the information right in my description box. That way you can just go down there and you can reach out to them, let them know that Abby sent you, so that they will give you the best service and the best pricing. And last but not least, number 3 on the list is doing too much. So let me explain what I mean by doing too much. A lot of times when people are starting out with Amazon selling, and I think just in business in general, there's an eagerness to do a lot of the things that make you feel like you're running a business, or that make you feel like things are legit and official. And there are certain things that are going to be important. For example, when it comes to Amazon FBA, it will be important that you get a logo made. That's not just a fluffy, insignificant step. That's something that you're going to want to do to make sure that your products look valuable to the customer. So that's important. But on the flip side of that, a lot of people spend so much time worrying about things that actually don't matter, and that if you do too much too quickly, you could actually end up regretting it later on. An example of that is when you are getting a trademark for your products. And just so you guys know, a trademark is a protection from the USPTO, which is the United States Patent and Trademark Office, USPTO, Patent and Trademark Office, which essentially is where they give you a protection for a logo or a brand name. And so that means that once you get a trademark, nobody else can use your brand name, nobody else can use your logo and sell, knockoff versions of your items. That's why you cannot sell an Apple product or a version of an Apple product and call it Apple, because Apple is trademarked. You can't sell a Samsung version of a cell phone because Samsung already makes cell phones, and that is protected. That word, you cannot use it because it's got a trademark, right? There's nothing wrong with wanting to protect your brand assets, and definitely do that when the time is right. The only reason that I'm saying this is that filing for a trademark is not cheap. It's something that's going to cost money for you to file, and then you might want to hire someone to file it for you. So that is an expense that not everyone is kind of prepared or ready to make right off of the bat. And it's not something that is absolutely necessary for you to sell on Amazon. You can sell without a trademark. And so you don't want to get ahead of yourself and overspend in areas that are not critical to you launching that first product. Because the truth of the matter is, once you start that trademark process, you're going to become very invested in that brand name, because you're already paying to protect that brand name. So if you decide later on down the road that you want to change your brand name and you want to protect that brand name, then you're going to need another trademark, and that's going to be more money that you're spending, versus taking your time and making sure that that is the name that you want and then trademarking it so that you don't have to do it 2 times. So that would be an example of something where I say doing too much. It's not something that you have to do. So just, wait, launch the product and kind of get the product up and running, make a little bit of money. And then when you feel like, okay, I feel good about this, then you can go ahead and spend the extra on, formalizing everything, getting the trademark, getting brand registered on Amazon, so on and so forth. So there you have it, 3 expensive mistakes that you can avoid with selling on Amazon FBA. And if you are just starting out and you have any questions for me, feel free to leave them down below. Don't forget to follow me on my other socials. I'm on Instagram at learnwithabby_, TikTok at learnwithabby_, and here on YouTube. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.